Hello there everybody and welcome to a new tutorial for Dwarf Fortress. In this one I am going to cover everything you need to know around this wonderful menu and all its fancy buttons. I'm going to talk about missions, warfare, how to read the screen, what to do with all these things that you can do here and how to understand them. So without further ado, let's get started with the basics of what this map has to tell us. So there's a color coding and there are various different icons. These are all linked to specific civilizations and the status between the civilization and us. So dwarven civilizations look like the stuff that's my cursor around, human civilizations look like that, goblin civilizations look like that, and elvish civilizations look like that. So there's also a distinct difference between a fortress and a regular settlement. Basically, a fortress is way harder to conquer and to fight than a regular one. Here, it is a little bit hard to see. This is a regular goblin pit, and this is a goblin fortress, so, well, you get to feel the differences over the course of the time. That being said, now to the color coding. Blue means it's your own home civilization. You cannot interact with these for real. You cannot do missions on them. It's just, they're your people. You can't work against them. Green is quite obviously an alliance. Red is open out war. And gray is there is either a truce, peace, or no contact at all yet. All right, these are the basic conditions. I think that was pretty self-explanatory, but I wanted to talk about it so we are sure to have no misunderstandings. So, when you click now any of these sites, or when you mouse over them, you see a lot of information, and when you click them, you get to select the kind of mission that is supposed to be done here. So I want to talk about those missions here real quick, what they can do for you. So a raid mission is actually ought to steal something from that site. It's basically trying to steal items, steal artifacts, and the like. It will be interacting with the ambusher skill in your squads. Basically, the highest ambusher skill will make the success chances a lot higher. The pillage mission is about attacking open and doing and just pilfering the stuff. It's basically like raid, but with more focus on fighting instead of sneaking. It goes with the tactics skill. So basically, the higher the tactics skill in your forces, the better. Razing is just like pillaging, only with the attempt of destroying the site forevermore afterwards. You have to redo this sometimes several times to really destroy the site, even if you've won the combat. Then we got tribute. So there's one time and ongoing tribute. Tribute is, well, depending on what the site's producing, obviously. And also, it is something that will get dumped off at your trade deposit. So, depot, sorry. The tributes, if they are yearly, will be deposited at the beginning of the season where you started the whole thing. If you started winter with the tributes, they will come always winter. What's really important to know here is that this also is a ways and means to get into contact with the civilization. Don't have any trade caravans from a certain civilization. Go over there, demand tribute from them, and afterwards they will go into contact with you. Alrighty, but we're not done here. There's now also conquering and occupying. So you can transform one of these sites into one of your holdings by conquering it, obviously. So if you are unfamiliar with it, your home fortress can have holdings, and these holdings are good for two things as far as I know. For one, you can you need them to make your fortress the mountain home at some point, because you first have to be a barony, then you have to be a county and all these things, and you need holdings as far as I know to get that thing done. You can create holdings by being wealthy as hell and just exporting a lot of stuff into your home civilization, and holdings will get founded around you, or you conquer them. So when you want to conquer somebody, it's almost always a good idea to demand the surrender and then occupy. Why? Because it's quite simple. If they say no, your dudes will still attack. So it's a pretty easy way of at least trying to make it without combat. So highly recommend that. If a site has been transformed into your holdings, you have all the people that attacked there as the on-site guardians, and the leader of, I don't know which squad, I think that's the first squad, I haven't understood the rules of that yet. The leader of that attack will be transformed into the site's administrator. Here's the deal. You can send a messenger over to the occupied holding and transfer those soldiers back to your home, but you cannot transfer the site administrator to that holding. So, in short, you will have to leave one person there. Those holdings can be really useful if you want to get rid of haggard dwarves or people that are not really fitting into your agenda and whatnot. You can also use those holdings to get rid of people, in short. All right, so that's how these things work. These now are flags that you can turn on or off with your missions. So if you want to attack a site but you don't want any livestock, here he goes. You want to just destroy that place, you want no loot, here you go. So these things, well, if you just want to be artifact raiding, here you go. Either way, you can configure it like that. What's important to note here is that you can sometimes release also other prisoners, that's people from other factions that can also join your own fortress afterwards. And yeah, important treasures is a code phrase for artifacts. And livestock, well, livestock isn't so far interesting as you can get yourself animals that are not really available otherwise. For example, beak dogs are only available by raiding them from goblin civilizations. All right, so one last thing that I wanted to showcase here, there's also a rider with artifacts. So as you see here, this is a readout about where all these artifacts are at, and you can also, by just clicking into one of these, create a mission that is solely dedicated to the recovery of those artifacts. Pretty nifty. You can also use that for missing citizens, call out a mission that's only up to retrieve those missing citizens, but I don't have any to show you yet. Every combat will be shown here as a mission report. They'll go over there. When you right click it, when you right click it, you get a fast forward through the text. And you also have a spoils report here. In this scenario, we receive also tributes. You get the stuff that's been donated to you as a tribute here, also as a report. So when you have assigned a mission, whenever you click at a site, you create a mission, and then you can assign those folks to that. And the moment we now leave that screen, wait a sec, here you see it. I have made two missions. You see one's empty, one's filled. Erase the empty one. So the two squads that I have assigned to that will now try to leave the map as soon as they can. It's really cool to know that your squads will try to leave the map to whatever exit is closest to them. That also includes cavern exits. So if you can exit the map via cavern, this squad, for example, would totally prefer to go there via cavern. Alrighty, my good friends, that's all I had to say about this topic. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found that helpful. Feel free to leave me comments if you have additions, further requests, or whatnot. I'm really happy to hear from you folks. And of course, a thumbs up on that video would be highly appreciated. And last but not least, subscriptions are an awesome way to support this channel. Hit the bell thing if you want to be notified about all the other new stuff that I do. And playlists are in the description box if you want to check out more Dwarf Fortress tutorial stuff. Alrighty, thanks for watching until this very bitter end. I hope you have a fine day and see you soon.